Seller Legal here again with another one of our videos. I'm here today with Alex Scala, who's one of our litigation lawyers. Alex came out of a mediation today and we had a really great result for a client, and it got me thinking, what do clients really know about mediation and how it works and what it means? So I wanted to ask Alex to sort of dish a little bit for you guys, our clients and our public, to discuss mediation a little bit. So Alex, thanks for doing this, and
Absolutely.
sorry to keep you hostage here today.
No problem.
Alex, describe a little bit, if you don't mind, what mediation is, and let's start with a little bit of background.
Essentially mediation is just a tool for the parties to use in kind of a last-ditch effort to try and resolve a matter without the need of further court intervention. Essentially that means that you don't have to go through the cost, the time, the aggravation of trying to prepare for trial. It's a wonderful tool that a lot of parties use to try and negotiate a settlement agreement. It's very effective, at least in my experience over the past 6 or 7 years.
And just to add to Alex's point, mediations are required in every single case by the court. So if we do file a lawsuit on a client's behalf, the judge is going to make the parties go to mediation as an opportunity to get the case settled before everybody gets entrenched and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in legal fees. Alex, tell me or tell everybody a little bit about what you do to prepare for mediation, what you do with the client before mediation, and just talk a little bit about why that's important.
Sure. Actually, that's a great question, because it's very important not to leave the client out in the dark. Okay, a lot of these people don't know, have never experienced mediation or anything with the litigation process. So it's really important for the attorney to sit down with the client, explain to the client the process of mediation, the roles that each person will play, what the mediator will be doing, what the attorneys will be doing, and what the clients will be doing throughout that process. I find that calms their nerves and they're more able to think clearly. I also really like to address realistic expectations. What I mean by that is finances. Listen, at the end of the day, when you ask somebody, how much money do you want? How much money would you be happy putting in your pocket and walking away from this and moving on with your life? $1 million. I'd love $1 million. You'd love $1 million. But oftentimes that's unrealistic. So I like to sit with the client, chat about the numbers, how much a case is valued at, and just basically go through that process so they're not taken by surprise when they hear different offers at mediation. That's really helpful because they understand the process more, and they understand that most likely they won't be walking out with $1 million. That being said, we do discuss realistic numbers and try and meet that each time, because ultimately we want the client to be happy.
Yeah, and I think it's important to add to what Alex is saying, and sorry I'm off camera here as the man of mystery, but I think it's important for clients to understand that every case has its good and every case has its bad. And part of the mediation process is a client learning the bad facts about their case that the other side is relying on to try to lower the value of the case and the expectations. One of the questions I did want to ask you, Alex, is if you could just generically describe the mediation process. Because remember, a lot of folks have never even been to a mediation.
Right.
Sort of explain the roles of the players, how it works, the back and forth. Just talk briefly about that.
Okay, well, in a nutshell, it's a very laid-back type of situation. You're not walking into a courtroom with the judge and the jury. It's a laid-back situation, pretty much like this. You come into a conference room. The neutral mediator will be there. She will explain the rules and what her part in her role is during the mediation. Opposing counsel and their client or clients will be on the other side of the table. On our, myself or Richard or Noah will be on the other side with our client, and we just give a brief opening statement about what the case is about, depending on the issues, and the mediator will then separate the parties, and for the most part, the clients don't they don't really meet again, which actually makes the clients feel a lot better, because when they walk in there initially, they're anxious. Oftentimes they haven't seen the defendant since perhaps, let's say, they were wrongfully terminated since then, and a lot of times they're on edge about that. So then we're separated into 2 separate rooms, and thereafter the mediator just goes back and forth. I have found that sometimes the clients get a little upset saying, wait a minute, Alex, this mediator seems a little pushy. Maybe she doesn't like us, or maybe she doesn't believe in our case. That's not the mediator's role whatsoever. He or she is there as a neutral party, and I guarantee you that what she does to us, she does to the other side as well. She's playing devil's advocate, and it really helps to try and facilitate settlement of a case.
And just, I agree with what you're saying, Alex. And what I always tell clients too is that the mediator could be somebody on the jury, not literally, but they're going to give you their objective third-party assessment of the strengths and the weaknesses of the particular case.
Absolutely.
So I always encourage the clients to listen to the mediator. As badly as the mediator might be beating us up in our room, they're going back and beating the other side up. And the old expression with mediation is that if both sides leave unhappy, meaning the client winds up getting less than they wanted and the other side pays more than what they wanted to pay, that's a successful mediation.
It's a beautiful day.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is. All right, last question. This isn't intended to be a know-it-all for mediations. You can always contact us at floridaovertimelawyer.com if you have more specific questions. But Alex, let me ask you this one. This is a softball. Do you find mediation to be successful or helpful as a tool in litigation?
Absolutely, 100%. Listen, at the end of the day, not every case is going to settle. Sometimes opposing counsel, for whatever reason, or I should say the defendant, just goes into mediation saying nothing you say or do is going to help. That's unfortunate, but I have not really had situations where that's happened. I would say in my experience, probably about 95% of the cases that go to mediation settle. So I absolutely find for all parties that it's a great tool to have, and I would absolutely recommend that.
Sorry, I keep getting my finger in the way of the camera, folks, so I do apologize. All right, listen, Alex, I want to thank you for your time. Everybody,
pleasure.
Stay tuned. We're going to keep doing these sort of litigation series videos with the different lawyers in the office. I'm sure you're all sick of seeing my face. So again, Alex, I appreciate your time, and stay tuned, guys. We'll be back soon with another video.
Bye.